It just, okay, there we go. Welcome, YouTube. This is Sean, and
my name's Jonathan.
Yes, and we're doing our first episode of the Super Subjective Podcast right here on Broadsword Media. So, yeah, take a hike, go to Yosemite. That's basically what the shirt says.
Great honeymoon, right?
Oh, yeah. My wife and I, you've seen a picture of her in the video about the 5 reasons why Nintendo Switch could fail video. She's my wife now. We got married August 11th. Had a wonderful wedding. Thanks for being my best man.
Yep. In fact, I flew all the way from New York to California just for this guy right here.
Exactly.
And now I'm broke.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
Okay. But yeah, and my mom set up a nice honeymoon for my new wife and I. We went to the town of Mariposa. We did some zip lining there, something I've never done before, something she's never done before. Whoa. Yeah, which was pretty fun. And then Mariposa is a town that's close to Yosemite. So we went to Yosemite as well, explored, and just had a grand time. That's where I got the hat and the shirt. So yeah, that's what I've been doing lately. That's why I've been busy. But I am working on a video, by the way, which will be uploaded hopefully in a week or two. And then, as you said, you came in from New York, so
yeah,
awesome.
I grew up here in California. We were in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I moved to New York. We were in the planning stages about a year ago, and I've been living there for the last 4 months with my mom and uncle. Been learning some things about the casting agency, did a little bit of acting here and there. I started working for my mom too there. And it's an online job, so I'm really hoping that pays off pretty well. And
an online job. It sounds kind of like what we're trying to make this become, right?
Yeah, I mean, if my dad's solar company pays off, I'll have 3 online jobs.
Oh wow!
And my goal by early next year is to probably move out to New York. You know, either move to Lake Tahoe.
You mean move out from New York?
Yeah, leave New York and
yeah, it's really expensive there.
It is.
And the pay isn't as good as here, despite being somehow more expensive than here. So
yeah, and I'll probably either move to Ohio, the Pacific Northwest, past California, Oregon,
and you're considering Lake Tahoe,
and Lake Tahoe,
probably because my wife and I are thinking about moving there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. Us being roommates is we're talking about it.
Well, anyways,
yes.
Let's get back on point. I mean, nobody needs to know what your moving plans are. Don't worry about that. Anyways,
it's just I want to know what I'm up to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, we're doing our first live podcast. Hopefully, people will start tuning in soon. I guess nobody actually knew what just happened anyway. But anyways, so what we're going to talk about is first, Disney is planning to do a new streaming service of their own. And I just read it because you were telling me about it, that they're going to have that start in 2019. And the plan is they're going to take off everything they have streamed to Netflix and put it on Disney, and probably put a lot more of their other stuff on Disney that they've never streamed elsewhere. I don't know if they're doing anything about getting rid of stuff that's on Hulu already or not. I haven't heard anything about that. But so far, they're getting rid of everything they have on Netflix to put on their Disney streaming service in 2019. And I'm a little mixed about that. What do you think about that?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm a wrestling fan, and the WWE Network launched in 2014.
Okay.
And although it's not the pinnacle of pop culture doing a streaming service with wrestling, it really got wrestling fans like hooked on the product. I think like almost 2 million people are on it right now. And for wrestling, that's pretty good. And, because previously, this is probably why Disney's doing it right now too. Wrestling pay-per-views were like $40 to $50 a month. And now you get the entire service, pay-per-views, old videos, current new videos, sometimes live shows. You can get all of that on WWE Network for just $9.99. Well, and it still hasn't gone up yet, so that's
the same price of the standard of Netflix subscriptions. Like there's a higher paying subscription that does all this other stuff. Yeah, there's this higher paying subscription that allows you to watch on like 4 screens at once or something. I'm like, why would I need that? You know, so I just do the medium one that's $9.99 HD, all that stuff. And it's only $1 more than the basic Hulu Plus subscription. So that's not bad. That's actually not bad. I don't know what the pricing will be for the Disney subscription. I imagine being that I imagine it's probably not going to be too high, but it is Disney, so there you go. We'll see.
Exactly, it's Disney, because they're making, like with the Star Wars franchise, the Marvel franchise, their live action remakes, surprisingly, Pixar.
Yeah.
They're all, and you know, even Pirates of the Caribbean, which I think has like a current worldwide total of around like 83 million.
Okay.
They're still making a lot of money than the average movie does, and for most of their movies. And I think they will probably do it at a lower price to compete with Netflix. I don't think this will hurt Netflix in the long run. It might hurt them a little bit once Disney leaves in 2019.
Yeah.
But I feel confident enough in Netflix, because right now they're doing what Amazon's doing, what Hulu I think is doing. They're becoming their own online new movie distribution company as well. They're doing their own original content with TV shows, their own original films.
Yeah.
Which is probably,
even Crackle has their own exclusive shows too.
Yeah,
so
Funny or Die, I think, did I know they did a parody of Donald Trump recently. Yeah, so I don't think, I think this is a business decision when it comes down to it. It might be frustrating for many consumers that watch a lot of Disney
I agree.
stuff on there, but at the end of the day, Disney is a business and they want to do the smart thing. And they're not the only company that's transitioning to this. Warner Brothers is also doing their own streaming service now, you know, and they're putting all their new content in their Teen Titans live action show, Young Justice season 3. So yeah, a lot of people are getting in on this now.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing. That's the thing that concerns me now. I am a little mixed about the Disney streaming service. I don't like that that's going to cause a lot of shows and movies to be taken off of Netflix. If the ones that are already on Hulu stay, that's fine. That's cool, because I actually like Hulu a little more than Netflix anyway. But one thing that will be good about this is that, like, for instance, Star Wars Rebels, you can't find on a streaming service. I've looked for on Netflix, Hulu, you cannot find it at all. So I'm sure because of this, it's going to be on the Disney streaming service.
I'm sure it will too.
I mean, Star Wars Clone Wars has been on Netflix ever since, for who knows how long. But of course, that was the case because LucasArts wasn't owned by Disney back then. So it makes sense. But the other thing is that I'm definitely concerned about is if Disney starts doing this, and you obviously established that the WWE has already done this.
Yeah.
How many more, like, studios, film companies, TV channels, whatever? How many more of these companies will just start their own streaming sites and cause people who want to binge watch on the internet to have to pay even more money to get more subscriptions?
Well,
you know, I mean, unless they do the Crackle route and just have it funded by ads or something.
There could be a ways around this, like starting off at a low price for all of them, $4.99, $8.99, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't want it to become like cable TV. You know, if it becomes that, then now the internet has been infected by an old media that's pretty much trying to stay relevant.
Here's the thing.
And it isn't as relevant as it used to be.
Here's the thing. The difference is cable TV will not provide the same offerings, nearly the same amount as a streaming service. Like, for example, I just mentioned WWE. You could find previous WWE episodes on like Comcast's In Demand, but you'll only find previous episodes of like Raw and SmackDown. But on the WWE Network, you'll find over 40 years of content that's really hard to find. You mentioned Star Wars Rebels being hard to find.
It is.
You can't find on TV.
Well, I would imagine that when they have new episodes, they probably put it on the Disney.
That's just it. Just like newer episodes, but like season 1 or something like that will be harder to find.
Yeah.
So it's all in one complete package, kind of like Netflix is doing, but Netflix doesn't have all of Disney's library. I mean, Disney doesn't even have to leave Netflix, but I think ultimately it's just going to cost Disney more money, and that's probably why there's a lot of concern over there if they stay with Netflix. They could just buy Netflix, but I'm sure it would kind of really ruin Netflix in a lot of ways because they're an independent streaming company, and I think that's because you don't because I mean Disney owns way too much stuff as it is. Like there's
Disney. If the government actually does its job, the Attorney General would actually block that merger anyways, because that would be creating a monopoly, and that's actually against our economic laws, and that would just not work. It would never happen.
Now, regarding will there be too much of these companies doing it? Yes, probably, but again, it's a business, and I think you got to do what is good for the consumer. Like right now,
unfortunately, if there are too many of them, that's really bad for the consumer, because how many times a month are they going to have to pay for different streaming services? It's gonna be a big expense, which is why I compare it to cable TV. Cable TV is a ripoff, and whoever has it shouldn't even bother with it. It's a ripoff.
Well, here's the thing. You could do the family plan too. They could also do the Netflix route and do a family plan where each person gets different content in each room. So it feels like you're paying for the price of a family.
And that sounds a lot like AT&T Uverse right there with their cable service.
Yeah.
Different boxes, different rooms. It sounds too similar.
Kevin Smith once said, there's no shame in copying a formula that works.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be a formula that's actually become such a drag to so many people that they don't watch TV anymore. They go on the internet because it's cheaper. Now, if the internet becomes as expensive as watching cable TV or satellite or whatever, that's going to be a big setback.
And I don't know how long and when they'll start doing the streaming service, but right now Universal's got Comcast.
Yeah. Well, Comcast has got Universal. That's the other.
Yeah, Comcast has got Universal. And of course Nintendo's really promoting the Switch right now. But I would not be surprised, like in 4 or 5 years when the Switch is qualities not as popular as it once was, that the next thing Nintendo does is a Nintendo streaming service.
I honestly think they should probably try to do that today with the Switch, because Sony has already done some kind of streaming service on their PlayStation 4. I think it's called the PlayStation Forever or something. And Microsoft is already doing a streaming service on their Xbox One. And Nintendo should do this, because honestly, if I play a single player game, I beat the game, and then I'm not going to play it for who knows how long, and I feel like I wasted $60. Now, for instance, a game like Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, those are games that I would buy because I would play them and continue to play them even after beating all the cups or the single player mode, because there's lots of multiplayer action, whether you're at home with your friends or playing them online. So that makes sense. But the single player games, I don't want to pay $60 for a game I'm going to play once and stop playing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the streaming service, I would be completely on board with, for sure.
Now, a friend of mine and I, we kind of created our own concept of what. We have the working title of the Nintendo Pack, because it all comes in one.
Nintendo Pack.
Nintendo Pack.
Yeah.
She-Wolf. Sorry, Full House reference. I think it would be good to basically start maybe a monthly subscription of $10 a month would be fair, because that means people are paying $1,200 a year for Nintendo content. Or
that wouldn't be $1,200 a year. Are you kidding?
$120 a year.
Oh my god. That would be so expensive.
$120 a year. Yeah. And if you do the family plan idea where family fours can play 4 different games in each room, that definitely. Oh,
so you mean Nintendo could do a streaming service? Wait, how would that be possible if there's one system? You can't do it in 4 different rooms.
Unless they create a USB kind of device that you can plug in your TV or HDMI device, like the Chromecast.
Oh, so like basically, you can like go on the system, tell it to cast it to another TV, basically, but still be able to play on your TV. That seems highly advanced. If Nintendo did that, they'd be freaking packing it in.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them. I mean, that would be a great way to do it, honestly. I mean, if they can get like extra devices, like Chromecast devices that connect to one device, like a router.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because I think ultimately, because I mean, that's like if I was in part of the creative process, not the like technological process, the hardware process, that would be my creative idea, and see if the engineers and tech companies would be up for doing something like that. Now, like in terms of how I price the games, like I would do every library, NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, you name it. Where that was released on a cartridge. Maybe the Switch. I mean, unless they want to go back and powerful. Although interesting enough, the Nintendo Switch is probably the first console since the GameCube to not be backward compatible.
Oh, for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you want to talk about concerns with that, or I mean,
I don't think there's any concern. I'm just saying, think about it. Like they could do every single console game from the NES to the Switch, unless they decide to make it backward compatible for the Switch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, about that, I'm just going to go over it really quickly. The Switch not being backwards compatible, for those of you who are concerned, it's not really a concern because there weren't that many games on the Wii U anyways. And as for the 3DS owners, that's not a big deal because there's so many people who have a 3DS that inevitably, if a lot of people who have a Switch will probably have already had a 3DS. So it's backwards compatibility, honestly, is really not a big deal when it comes to the Switch, that is. But as for that idea, the streaming service, now that would be pretty sweet, going from NES, Game Boy, all the handhelds and consoles from way back to the present. I'd be on board with it. I mean, Sony, like I said, is already doing it with their PlayStation 4, from every PlayStation game from the first to the new on a streaming service, and Microsoft is doing it on their Xbox One. So I think Nintendo should get on board and do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Mike Matei, James Rawls' friend, he suggested they put their games on Steam, but I don't know. I think Nintendo's a little bit smarter than that. Like they can probably make a huge profit with the streaming service.
Mike Matei, he's definitely a good partner with James Rolfe on Cinemassacre, and he says some pretty interesting points, some pretty interesting things, but he lacked vision in that statement. Nintendo would not be making as much money if they did that, because just quite frankly, Valve would benefit a lot more from it than Nintendo would.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they haven't done it on streams, because they already have some kind of thing like this, the streaming service, in store. We don't know when that service will be available, but I promise, like probably in the next 4 or 5 years, I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
if they did that, and they released like all sorts of games, Mario, Link, Zelda, maybe a Pokemon Go game.
Yeah, another Pokemon Go. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this much: I've been playing Pokemon Go on Android now for over a year. Most people have stopped, including you.
Well, I stopped not because I lost interest. I just stopped because my phone does not let me move my apps to the SD card, which has plenty of memory.
You know what's BS?
Exactly. If it just would let me move the apps to the SD card, I would have no problem because there's plenty of space on the SD card. But the phone itself does not have very much memory.
Which is a shame. Yeah, I have an LG G4. I'm probably going to have to.
Mine's a G3 Vigor. That's probably why. Yours is more advanced. Is a newer LG. It's a newer G series phone than mine.
I got to get a newer phone at some point.
I need to more badly than you do.
True.
But I mean, I'd rather save my money first and figure things out, though.
Yeah, my experience now, I guess since we're on the topic of Pokemon Go, my experience with the game has been pretty good. I think people have had better experiences than me. Currently, there's 5 legendary Pokemon, legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and I think I got a lot of players back into the game.
Yeah, I'm actually highly interested in playing it because I want to get these legendaries.
We only have 2 weeks left, so
I'm not going to get them. I have to find a way to free up space.
Well, so right now currently, I have 3 of the 5 available Pokemon. I have Lugia, Moltres, and Zapdos, 1 each.
Zapdos, I think, at least among the original Generation 1 legendary birds, is definitely the best. I mean, that type combination gives him a lot of resistance. I mean, now that he has flying, his weakness to ground is gone. And now that he has electric, his weakness to electric is gone, among other weaknesses that, some flying types might have.
I know we're not, and just for the record, we're on Mystic. It sounds like we're promoting Team Instinct, but I think the reason I chose Mystic is because blue is my favorite color. Although I like the aesthetic look of Articuno, yes, Zapdos is the more powerful one. I've tried like 6-7 attempts at catching Articuno so far. That mofo is hard. Like in game, you only have a 2 to 3% chance of actually catching these. So
that's really hard to do.
Yeah, so people are either good throwers and been extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Or I'm just really bad at catching Pokemon.
Well, with a 2 to 3% chance, it doesn't really matter how good or bad you are, really.
Because I can think of a number of people who have, like, one friend has 3 Zapdos, 1 Moltres, 1 Articuno, 1 Lugia. I've ran to people who have had like 4 Lugias, 8 Articunos, 3 Moltres. I mean, they could be making it up too, but I mean, like, it depends on how much time of free time they have, really. I mean,
yeah, some people just have too much.
Like in Queens, like I've gone to a couple Lugia raids, a couple Articuno raids. Yeah, Articuno. Like I went to Central Park and went to like 3 different Articuno raids. That guy's hard. I don't. I hope I catch it before the 31st because it would just be nice to have a full collection. And now Mewtwo, that's complicated. Basically, you got to already have beaten all these different raid spots, and you get an invite to one of these spots to catch Mewtwo, and you don't know where that it's going to be in, and they give you a couple days in advance, and you don't know if everyone's going to be available that day. So it sounds like they're trying to make Mewtwo as hard to get as possible. Like a lot of people in Japan already picked up a Mewtwo at a special event. And I hope to get it. I mean, currently, okay. So oddly enough, I've been in New York a lot. I haven't caught any legendaries in New York. I did catch a couple of rare Pikachu's with like hats on. So
well, that's terrific. You caught a Pikachu with a hat. You know what? Try playing Super Smash Brothers and changing Pikachu's costume. He has a hat. Well, terrific.
I do one concept I really do hope they introduce at some point in Pokemon Go is trading. I do believe the technology is there to do it because
every main series game, including the original Red and Green in Japan and Red and Blue here, every single one of them has had trading available.
Even in Japan, the Super Game Boy 2 on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you could actually trade with that. Yeah, that's true.
So if they can do trading, you can figure out how to do Pokemon Go with trading. I'm sure I'm sure a lot more. You'll get a lot more people to do it. I'm sure they're just having a hard time.
Well, not only that, I mean, it would get a lot more people to play, so they can actually have a chance to get certain Pokemon that they just couldn't get. You know,
exactly. Like I failed to get a Chansey on Valentine's Day. Apparently, there was like a special event where you catch Chansey. I guess I missed that. Now everybody has a Blissey except me. So,
well, that sucks.
And Blissey's a really strong defense. Like. You ever fight a Blissey in a gym?
Blissey in the games has incredibly weak physical stats, but has a lot of health and very high special attack and special defense. So if you hit it with like a fighting move, you will take it down like one hit because it has a weakness to fighting. We should probably change topic though.
Before we do, Articunos, if you're listening to this right now, I'm going to get you. Your ball's gonna be shaken with the 1, 2, 3. It's gonna happen. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but before the 31st. Damn it!
That's the last day.
It's the last day.
All right.
That's a plug for anyone out there who has yet to play Pokemon Go yet. or Let's Catch a Legendary. You have until the 31st. Join a Discord.
All right. And there was one other thing. Oh, we were going to discuss recent news about the Ben Affleck and the DC Extended Universe.
Yes. So I was listening to an interview. He was Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's brother, who's also an actor. He did like a sportscast interview, and one of the cast interview wanted to address something that's been going on for the last 6 months. It started with John Campea. He mentioned he heard from a source Affleck wants to leave. Although it sounds to me like WWB wants Affleck to leave at some point. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, whether it was the critical and financial failure of his last directorial effort, Live by Night, or whether people are enough. Because I mean, let's be honest. I tell this to as many people as possible. 9 times out of 10, anyone, even people who did not like Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad, 9 times out of 10, they say nothing but great things about Affleck's portrayal as Batman. Yes, some people might not like him killing, but you know what? Tim Burton's Batman's killed. Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan's Batman's killed. It's gonna listen. This is an adaptation. I would rather have a more faithful Batman that doesn't kill, but this is the closest we're gonna get. And it was more self-defense too. It wasn't like it was more like I think Snyder said it was like manslaughter. So basically the interviewer asked, "What's going on with your brother? Is he going to do the Batman movie?" And Casey also said, "Well, he was okay Batman." No, I'm just kidding. He's a great Batman. He says he doesn't think he's going to do that movie, and then it's like the guy was like, "Oh, is this breaking news?" Oh, I did it. I don't know. I was just making a lot of that up. So it seems to me that there's a lot. This is causing a lot of discussion online. This has been the DC has been a bit of a remember we're like the 1% of the online film fan community. We hear about this news, and we're a very small percentage. 99% of moviegoers don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
So they'll just go to the movie. If they like it, they don't. If the trailer looks good to them, or if they listen to reviews. I mean, this is my thoughts on the situation. As one of the 9 times out of 10 people who thought Affleck was a great Batman, this is what I'm thinking. What WB is thinking right now. I think right now, because there was the Hollywood Reporter, which is a very, very 99% reliable news source, said WB is planning on Affleck's exit. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. That's what the report said. It didn't say when. It could very well be Justice League. Could very well be the last movie with Affleck. The solo Ben Affleck Batman movie with Matt Reeves, that could be the last one too. But this is what I'm thinking. I think it all rests on the financial success of Justice League, because I think what happened with Live by Night is I think the WWE producers got cold feet. They thought maybe Affleck is not as popular as we made out to be after he became Batman. Maybe the general public actually not as many people like him as Batman as we thought. Maybe there is that fear. And like I said, because he was, even though the Razzies are stupid and they shouldn't have nominated him for Worst Actor, the fact is people voted for him to be nominated for Worst Actor, even though those people are morons, and I have no idea why he was nominated for Worst. Henry Cavill was nominated for Worst Actor too. I'm like, WTF,
Yeah, they're
Eisenberg. I was like,
the Razzies are pointless. They really are. They're there as a joke. They're really there as a joke.
Yeah.
It's clear they're there as a joke. They know they're there as a joke. So people shouldn't even take the Razzies seriously.
I know. By the way, for those who do take it seriously, just remember, what other movies got nominated for Razzies? The Blair Witch Project. A lot of people like that movie. And yeah, the Razzie.
It's got a huge cult following. Obviously, 2001: A Space Odyssey, that had horrible critical reception when it came out. The
Shining was also nominated for Razzies too.
And since then, it's become a phenomenon. Everybody loves Space Odyssey. Everybody loves The Shining, pretty much.
Blade Runner.
Yeah. So, there are a lot of films that have
Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club. I'll admit, Fight Club built up kind of slow for me, but towards the end, it was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess to summarize everything, we're a little mixed on the. Oh, I'm a little mixed on the Disney streaming service. I know with that service, there'll be more. Some shows I've been wanting to see or movies I've been wanting to see will be a lot more available. But the problem is that could be an extra expense for consumers because they'll have to pay for another streaming service, and that just sucks. And then you were kind of mixed on it as well. Is that right?
Yeah. Like, well, here's the thing. We'll just see how it goes. I think ultimately what it comes down to is we have to wait and see because we as consumers, we don't have any control over what happens. Whatever
well, eventually we do if we decide not to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's something I actually forgot about. The TV channel Cartoon Network has that late night hours, the Adult Swim.
Adult Swim.
They're actually
Rick and Morty. Don't forget our show, Rick and Morty. It's not a plug. It's just I'm just stating the obvious.
You forgot to go. Don't forget that. But
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to do that. Yeah. Thanks.
But
just shut up, Rick. Just let him talk.
Almost done. But the Adult Swim actually already has a website where they have episodes of their shows on there. So they're already doing it. They've been doing that for like, I don't know, a long time, like before WWE ever did it. Yeah, long before that. True. So I think they probably did it before there was even a Hulu, like maybe 10 years ago or something. So they have done that already. So it has been done. But the thing is, the Adult Swim one is free. So it just has like ads, I think. So hopefully maybe if other networks decide to do this kind of online streaming thing, they kind of take on the Adult Swim route so it's more affordable to the consumer. Otherwise, they're going to alienate people, and people are not going to want to watch anyways. You know?
Yeah, and then to summarize to the Nintendo Network, we think it's a good idea. We know we said that Nintendo Pack. We know we said we don't want every company to go on us, but there are some exceptions, and I think Nintendo's a huge exception. I think it should join the bandwagon with Sony and Microsoft and do the streaming service because I think it'll make a lot of people buy more of the product. And it'll also, Nintendo's been having this huge issue with supply and demand. Like, you better not be out of stock for the SNES Classic. I want to play Star Fox 2, okay? Nintendo promised me. I had to pay $150 goddamn dollars for the NES Classic, and it doesn't even run that good. I might have to sell it now. So you better have enough stock, Nintendo.
We're not kidding about that, okay? Like the SNES Classic, you need to actually put out more of them so people buy them because you're not going to make as much money if you don't. You'll make so much money if you keep putting them in stock because otherwise some asshole's going to buy every single one of them on the shelf and then sell them for like $150, $200. Didn't somebody sell one for like $1,000 or something? That's just exploitation and just.
John, somebody actually spent $120 on a GameCube adapter for the Wii U.
I lucked out in that. I kept checking with GameStop. Told them, hey, could I get a GameCube controller adapter for the Wii U? And they said it'll be ready in a month, and it was ready in less than a month, and I got one. I ordered it ahead of time and got it for $20. Like, oh yeah!
I got mine 15. Not to brag, but I got mine 15.
Well, that must have been after I got mine. So there you go. I mean, it is possible, but I mean, Nintendo is just being so stingy on their stock. Anyways, yeah. So I'm mixed about the Disney streaming service. Nintendo should do a streaming service. That'd be awesome because Xbox and PlayStation already are.
Now, Sean. After all I've said about Pokemon Go, are you gonna at least try to catch Legendary?
I would like to. I just got to figure out about my phone because it has very little memory, and it won't let me move apps to the SD card, which has plenty of memory, so I could easily do it.
Well, how many photos do you have in there? Because if you find a way to move your photos onto your computer.
I already do that. Okay. Yeah, I already do that.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have Super Mario Run, and I plan to keep playing Super Mario Run.
I want to play that at some point. It looks fun. I've been playing.
It's only $10, and then you have the whole game.
I've been playing Mega Maker, which is free.
Oh yeah, you can play on the PC. That looks like fun.
Oh yeah, one last thing I want to say about the whole bathroom. This is what I'm thinking what's going to happen. We're going to see how Justice League's going to do.
Yeah.
If Justice League makes, I think the goal is for Justice League to make more than what Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman made $873 million worldwide.
Yeah.
In today's standards, yes, a lot more.
That's a lot of money still.
I know.
Though. That's still really good.
It is still the 52nd highest grossing film. So
that's
only
right.
51,
of all time.
So only 51 movies. I mean, yes, inflation is taking count, but think about this. If you adjust every single movie in history for inflation, 150, almost 150 years of film, only I think it's like 100. It's Batman v Superman's at like 195th place. Only 194 movies have made more ticket sales
adjusted for inflation
than Batman v Superman. Yeah. So you got to take in mind, yes, Batman v Superman could have made more money. With Batman and Superman, the same movie together, that's almost guaranteed to make $1 billion.
But what matters is, if the Justice League can do even better, and on that, and
I think Affleck will stay.
I think he likely would,
at least for the solo Batman.
At least for that, because it would be really strange if within the same universe they recasted the actor. The only time I could think of when that happened was The Incredible Hulk.
Well, you got to remember, there's been
Edward Norton and then Mark Ruffalo in the MCU. Of course, before that it was a different actor.
But here's the thing, you got to remember, in the same universe, the Burton Schumacher films, but Batman's been recast then too. First it was Michael Keaton, then it was Val Kilmer, and finally it was George Clooney.
Yeah, and George Clooney does admit that he sucked as Batman.
I know.
He's apologized to it on so many.
It wasn't his fault
on so many occasions.
With the right script, he could have done a great job, but that movie was just a total joke of a movie.
It was meant to be. It was meant to not be taken seriously.
I know, which is why it sucked. And so, but however, if Justice League underperforms, let's say, I can't see it making anything less than $750 million. I think that's the lowest it'll get.
Probably.
If it makes under $750 million, then chances are Affleck will be out, unfortunately. I don't want that to be the case, but the studio has to think about its financial stability and self-preservation for these movies to be successful. And if they don't feel Affleck has the right connection to the audiences they'd like him to, then they'll have to recast, and Affleck can focus on directing again or whatever it is. So if it is, so it's to me, Affleck stated he will do it as long as WB wants him to do it. Now, if Warner Brothers doesn't want him to do it, if Justice League fails, then we have no control over that. I mean, I guess we could boycott the future DCU movies, but I don't want to do that. I think I've been enjoying. Listen, I know we may be in a minority here, but we've enjoyed all the films. Not just Wonder Woman. I really liked Man of Steel. I liked Batman v Superman. I like parts of Suicide Squad, and I love Wonder Woman. This is Charles.
This is Charles.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
I guess in a later podcast, I could talk about how I think pets shouldn't have human names like Charles.
Well, I named him Charles after his Keenan and Kel episode. Or Kel.
It's a cat with a human name.
But this chimpanzee was named Charles by Kel in this episode of Keenan and Kel. And
that's a TV show.
And
So anyways, that's pretty much to summarize it. Mixed on Disney streaming service. Yes, Nintendo should do a streaming service for their games. We're hopeful for Ben Affleck, but we're also concerned if the Justice League doesn't do so well. And then that last one about the.
Do you think Ben Affleck should stay on as Batman?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
And
now we've lost all of our subscribers.
Actually, we probably got new subscribers with they love cats. Oh yes, ladies, I love cats, and I'm single, so I'm just kidding. But yeah, anyway, thanks to you for tuning in for our very first episode of the Super Subjective Podcast. We apologize if the quality wasn't great, and we're sorry for any interruption. It's okay. You're good.
Yeah, we'll set up. We'll keep improving upon our live streaming as we keep doing more and more of these episodes. Just like how when on the videos I've already uploaded to this channel and other channels, I've always improved upon the editing and the visual effects and stuff and the sound quality. So we'll just keep improving as we do more of these. So stay tuned for more episodes of the Super Subjective Podcast.
Okay, we're going to say bye now. Bye.
And our subscribers are gone. I'm just kidding. I know people love cats.